Hey there. Hello, everybody. Welcome into a Monday. It is November 24th, and I'm Chris Allen, and this is 270 weather for the 270 area code and beyond. Yes, I'm back. I'm back. Not on TV yet. I'll be back in the morning, though, in case you were wondering. I took Friday off and today off. I had planned that for, well, a few months ago, that I was going to take a couple of days off. My days off are starting to pile up a little, so I needed to burn some off. And I thought, this is the time of year when it's usually good to do that. Now, I will tell you that not only do I or did I have Friday and today off, but I've got the upcoming Thursday and Friday, Thanksgiving and Black Friday off from television as well. I may still do stuff here on the 270 Weather Channel, but as far as TV, it's only tomorrow and Wednesday. So I'm only on 2 days this week, tomorrow and Wednesday. So everything's fine. I'm not sick. Somebody was worried that I was like under the weather or something, but no, vacation, short vacation. Now, I will tell you, and some of you have seen this already, I've posted to my profile page on Facebook that my best friend, Danny Wilson, who lives up in Smiths Grove, Glasgow, DW, everybody knows him as, um, he lost his sister. Now, this happened like late Thursday when we got the word, and we were supposed to leave Friday to take a road trip to West Virginia. Well, that of course changed, and we had to kind of go back. And I said, Danny, what do you want to do? And he said, well, I don't want to go to West Virginia. It just wouldn't be right. But I would like to go home. And home for Danny is, as many of you know, the Muscle Shoals, Alabama area, specifically Tuscumbia, which Danny grew up in, Sheffield, Florence. A lot of you are familiar with that area, with those cities known as the Shoals. It's also a big, major recording capital, if you will. A lot of people think Nashville, and yeah, maybe so, but back in the 60s and 70s, it was Muscle Shoals, Alabama. A lot of incredible music came out of that. The Tennessee River flows through there, and a lot of people say it's the singing river because there's something in the river there that just makes the artistry just shine. And it still does. And there are still people that go there to record even now. Fame recording studio is there. Muscle Shoals Sound is still there, 3614 Jackson Highway. There's just so much history there. There's even a big Rolling Stones exhibit that is getting ready to be, it's been curated and now getting ready to be set up at the Marriott Renaissance Hotel there in Muscle Shoals, right on the Tennessee River. Danny and I got to have a sneak peek at that. And let me tell you, if you're a Rolling Stones fan, you have got to make your way to Muscle Shoals, Alabama, and stay at the Renaissance. And let me tell you, you'll love it. And if you're a Stones fan, golly, man, they've got some stuff. But anyway, so Danny's sister passed away suddenly, and he just wanted to be down there, just to be close to home, see some of his family, and just kind of reminisce. And so that's what we did. We got back home yesterday, and Danny's feeling good. It's going to be one of those things where he's just, the realization has set in that, most of his family's gone now. He's in his 80s, But man, we had a good time. It was a time to purge. It was a time to think, a time to celebrate his sister and her life, and to be with some of his family. And you know, it was worth the trip. It was really well worth it. So I appreciate you guys just letting me take a couple of days off here and be with Danny and just be a part of that, because it really helped him a lot. But now I am ready to help you get ready for Thanksgiving weather wise. Now, a lot of the hype has been, as you well know, and I've documented it here for the last few weeks, and several others that are, legitimate weather forecasters around the country have, pretty much made note that some of the garbage that you've seen on social media is just that, garbage. I mean, really garbage. I would use another word for it. It's a four-letter word, starts with an S, ends with a T, but I won't do that. I mean, I could do it here because this is, my podcast. I'm not under any any obligation to keep it clean, but you know what I'm thinking anyway. So, yeah. Um, so this what I'm going to do is prove to you that what they've been putting out there is hype, as usual. I'll get to that in just a moment. All right. In the meantime, let's talk about the numbers from today here in Bowling Green. At the Bowling Green Airport, a high of 62, 6 degrees warmer than the normal of 56. And boy, did we have a lot of fog this morning. And it took several hours just to get rid of that fog. 46 has been our low. Now, even though it has started to rain, we've had no official measurable rainfall at the airport, but we know that those numbers come in later. You're not going to see the numbers right now, but tomorrow, like when I get on in the morning and do sunrise on News 40 at 6 a.m., there will be a little bit of a number there. Not a whole lot, but there will be a number. I do want to tell you this before we go on and bring you the forecast. Some of you may have not heard this, but tonight there will be, overnight tonight, from about 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. here in Bowling Green, this section that you're looking at on the map, which takes in just off of Wilkinson Trace, that's over by the convention center, the Sloan Convention Center, Fairway Street, different streets there. BGMU is planning an outage. Now, last week, I think it was, or a few days ago, you had an outage in this same area. There's going to be a planned outage from 2 tomorrow morning until about 5. So 3 hours that you're not going to have electricity. And that's because they will be making a repair from whatever happened a few days ago. So I guess they have something temporarily set up, whatever broke the other day that caused the power outage. You're going to have a power outage overnight tonight. In fact, I can show you. Let's see if we can see some of these. Yeah, there's a list. Part of Scottsville Road there in front of Heartland. Then St. Andrews, Wilkinson Trace, Fairway Street, St. Andrews Circle, on down, let's see, Scops, Fairway Street, St. Andrews, yeah, okay, Wilkinson, St. Andrews, okay, there's another page here. I mean, it's not a big area. St. Andrews Court, you can see down through there, Wilkinson Trace, and so forth and so on. So they go really street number by street number in this area. Three Wood Circle, Fairway. Of course, this is all out by the golf course, Heartland Golf Course. So that's where the problem is, and that's why tonight you're going to be without power. 2 a.m. to 5 a.m., BGMU customers only. There you go. I just wanted to pass that on very quickly. But you know what? Talking about not having electricity, you could also talk about, how, it would be nice if you had backup power. hmm Let's say, for instance, let me do this. Let me see if I can. There we go. So just like that, I can change what you're looking at on the fly, which I love. So let's say those of you in the BGMU area at Heartland are, you're going to be without power tonight from 2 until 5 a.m. Wouldn't it be nice if you had one of those Generac generator? Then as soon as your power goes off, this would a few seconds later switch on and everything keeps running. But I know most of you don't, but this is a good time to think that maybe you should get one, and maybe you should talk to R&R Controls about getting installed a brand new Generac generator, because they service, sales, of course, they sell them, service them, and install. And then here's the biggest part, they maintain them on a regular basis. They'll put it on their calendar, the date of installation, then they'll say, a few months later, they're going to come out, check it, make sure it's still working like it should. So when the power goes off, when your main source of power goes away, this kicks on. So talk to R&R Controls about getting the number one name in generators, Generac, and they can also talk to you about financing one. It's not as much as you think. And yes, they are made for even smaller homes. So no matter what size home you have or business, there's a Generac generator made for you. 270-777-2024 is the number to call, or you can hit them up right there, rnrhvac.com, or call 270-777-2024, because with R&R Controls, you will never be without power. Like these folks will be tonight. Not to pick on you folks, but it's the people that live right there in the Heartland Golf Course area. So just be advised that is going to happen overnight tonight. All right, we move on now to the current picture, and I know this looks like a big mess, but just roll with me here. I'm giving you an entire view of the United States because I want you to see what's going on. Right now, we've got a little trough, this broken line, little disturbance that's coming through, and that's what's touching off some of the shower activity that we're already seeing. In fact, let me turn on the radar, zoom in, and you can see that trough slices right through, right along Interstate 65 here at 6:30 p.m. on this Monday night, November 24th. Most of the rain now is east of Bowling Green or south and west. This little feature is going to move on through tonight and take with it a bulk of the rain, but this rain is light. Sometimes there may be a little moderation, a little moderate rainfall, but nothing severe. Any severe weather, if it happens, is going to be way down to the south. So if you even happen to hear a rumble of thunder tonight, I would be surprised. It could happen because of this trough that's pushing through. There will be a little bit of warmer air that's going to come in overnight, and with that, there could be a rumble of thunder, but I don't think it's going to amount to very much. It's just going to be pretty quiet, general rainfall, if you will. Okay, let's zoom back out. I'll show you the features here. We've got a series of systems out west. One sitting there. It looks like almost to Oklahoma City. And then we've got trailing front down into Texas, Louisiana. This is the area that is going to find and has already seen some stronger storms. All of that nastier weather is going to stay down south. Now, I'll tell you this because I know a lot of you will begin to make trips either tomorrow or especially Wednesday as the busiest travel day of the year on Wednesday. And I want you to know what the weather is looking like. So let's go through a run of time here. And all these symbols will come off. Look at all these low pressure systems out west. I mean, there is a parade of systems out west that will be coming through a good chunk of the country, and with it, some colder air. So let's take a look. I'm going to put this into motion where you'll be able to see what maybe the radar will look like at certain times. Let me stop. Here we go into tomorrow morning. Most of the rain, as you can see, will be out of our area, especially as we get on into the middle part of the day tomorrow. There will be some leftover showers, and it's going to be breezy. Now, if you're in the upper Great Lakes, rain, maybe some snow as the colder air hits. Most of this that you see is rain and thunderstorms further south. And then there's an offshore system that is going to come in and produce more wet weather. So here we go into Friday, which is the 26th. No, I'm sorry, Wednesday. Wednesday, busiest travel day of the year. And look, let me back it up. Look at the majority of the country on Wednesday, the busiest travel day of the year, is going to be fairly quiet. Really, the only places that's going to see any activity as far as rain or most of this will be snow further north of the Great Lakes, is going to be up there. And then you have this offshore system. Look at that low spinning there coming in off of the Pacific Northwest. But the rest of the country on Wednesday, you're not going to have any issues. There's really not going to be any issues on Wednesday. Now, Thursday, as we get into Thanksgiving, and here we go. Here's Thanksgiving morning. Still pretty quiet, and quiet around here. There will still be some maybe lake effect snow that's going on in the Great Lakes. And then that system I showed you offshore of Washington, Oregon, the Pacific Northwest will make it onshore with some wind and rain and then maybe some higher elevation snows. But this is Thanksgiving when we were supposed to have had the coldest, snowiest Thanksgiving ever, according to what's been put out there for the last several weeks. And I told you guys, don't buy it because it's not going to happen. We're actually going to stay a little mild, but then we start to cool down as we get into Thanksgiving. Now, this is Black Friday. Here comes a little system out of the plains and into the middle Mississippi Valley with a chilly rain. Yes, chilly rain that could start early, say Saturday morning, as maybe a few flakes of snow mixed in with rain. But the ground temperatures are still way too warm. If you do see snowflakes Saturday morning, this coming Saturday morning, they will all change to rain because warmer air is going to come in with this system and it's going to change it all to rain, as you see here, by afternoon. And then this system gets a little more organized as we get into Sunday, the 30th, last day of the month, and my birthday, November 30th, this coming Sunday. And then Monday is the 1st of December, right there. Now, this is the GFS model, GFS, Global Forecast System. And this is the one that is trying to be phased out because it's been around for a long time. It's semi accurate, but it has some flaws. There's much greater detail, much better detail with some of the newer models that are coming out. But this is the one that I have to show you right now. And it's showing some fairly decent rain on the first day of December. And this would be rain because temperatures right after it gets very cold on Thanksgiving Day and Black Friday, I showed you this last week, we're going to start to warm back up right after this. And so when this comes in, it's all going to be rain for us, not snow. And temperatures will recover, get back into the 50s, maybe even 60s. This is going out through December 2nd. And here we go into the 3rd. That's a pretty good, that looks like a line of thunderstorms right there for December 2nd, which would be next Tuesday, a week from tomorrow. So, yeah, there's nothing here that says we are going to get snow. It's going to be bad. No, no, afraid not. Now, I do want to show you this. Let me turn off a lot of these surface fronts and things like that. So here is the temperature outlook for the next 6 to 10 days. This would take us through Thanksgiving and into the middle part of next week. I don't see any serious cold. Do you? No. Here's Kentucky, Tennessee. It's actually going to be just a little slightly above normal, even though it is going to be a cold day on Thanksgiving and Black Friday. It is going to get cold for like a day or two. But the trend overall for the 6 to 10 day period is warmer. Little bit more, either equal to or a little bit above normal temperatures during that time. The real cold air is going to be out here in the north central plains. We can go out 2 weeks from now. And yeah, slightly cooler, but not frigid cold. By no means. And now we can go 3 to 4 weeks out. And look, there's nothing that screams extreme cold like all the graphics and maps and hyper forecasts have been showing. Nothing. All right, so how about, say, precipitation? How is it going to look? Well, let me find it here, and I'll show you. Okay, let's back it up. 6 to 10 days, yeah, a little wetter, but I just told you we're going to get not only rain tonight and tomorrow, we take a little break on Thanksgiving and Black Friday, but then rain returns for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, maybe even Tuesday of next week. How about 2 weeks from now? About equal chances of precipitation. And now 3 to 4 weeks out, nothing really that screams, oh, this is going to be, just put all the hype together that they were putting out there. None of this is showing us that, which I told you guys, if you'll recall, that would be hard to do just based on analogs, looking back through history, the way the pattern is right now. There's nothing to indicate that we are going to get this big deal of cold air and snow coming into Kentucky or anywhere close to us. It's just not going to happen. So, hopefully you guys have figured out by now you cannot trust those sources because they're just not legitimate, and they're telling you things for hype. They're telling you things to get you hooked, to get you afraid, scared. The problem I have with it is that it gets you unnecessarily worked up for, you may cancel your plans to go to wherever you're going to go for Thanksgiving or the holidays for that matter, and those that are to come, because you buy into their hype and you're like, oh, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to so-and-so's house. I'm not going to Uncle John's house or Grandma Fred or Grandma Fred, Grandpa Fred's house because the weather, they're saying it's going to be the worst ever. Come on. Come on, you guys. This is why I'm telling you, do not buy into all this that they're sharing out there. Here's a look at the current situation with the Kentucky Mesonet network. Temperatures are in the 50s, even a few 60s out east of us. We had a high of 62, as I showed you here in Bowling Green today, and most of you upper 50s to low 60s. Low temperatures were in the 40s to start this morning, but in the 30s, as you see the deep blue out to the east and southeastern part of Kentucky. How much rainfall today so far? Well, it's not been much. As you can see, less than 1/10 of an inch everywhere. Everywhere. Just mere raindrops, barely measurable at this point. But that will pick up overnight and during the day tomorrow. Winds, they've been a little breezy at times, but right now they're coming out of the east and southeast. We'll call it around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Okay. Let's move on to another look at the charts. And here you see that big mess of wet weather and nasty weather in some cases, but not for us. It's just a nice, gentle rain. There have been some moderate showers as this disturbance moves through tonight. So here we go into the day tomorrow, and you can see that the rain picks up, maybe a rumble of thunder. That may not even happen, though. And it doesn't signal severe weather. That's not going to happen here. Here we go into 6 a.m. Tomorrow morning, the system begins to pull through. Look at all the fog back in Missouri behind this system, that damp ground, the cooler air. There will be a little bit of cooler air, but actually we've got a warm front that's going to hit us first tomorrow, and that's going to help us to warm into the mid 60s tomorrow. We only made low 60s today. I think mid 60s tomorrow before this, the first of a couple of cold fronts, moves through as we get close to Thanksgiving. Here's Tuesday evening. There's front number 1. And here's front number 2, back to the west. So this first front will tend to shut off the rain, but it doesn't necessarily bring us the coldest air. It will be the secondary front, which moves through on Wednesday. I think Wednesday morning will establish an early day high of around 50, upper 40s to around 50. If you're planning on driving, getting out of town, or if you're staying here, everything looks fine. If you head east, you're going to run into the rain you just had here in the 270. You'll catch back up with it. But there's no snowy weather or anything like that. Let me zoom back out. Since this is the busiest travel day of the year, you can see that there will be snow and wind up in the Great Lakes. Chicago will be getting some snow. Milwaukee, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Twin Cities will be getting some snow. The rest of it will be rain. The center part of the country, quiet, and then snow in the northern Rockies. Then it all warms to rain on the Pacific Northwest coast. Here is Wednesday evening. Look how much of the country is pretty much precipitation free. A big chunk. Just the Great Lakes, the Northeast, extreme Northeast, and the extreme Northwest and the Rockies will see precipitation. This is on Wednesday. Here we go into Thursday morning, Thanksgiving Day. Pretty quiet, except for, again, Northern Rockies, Pacific Northwest, and the Great Lakes. Here we go into Friday morning, Black Friday, high pressure over our area. Chilly, yes, but not extremely cold. If you're wanting to go shopping on Friday, it's just going to be chilly. It'll be chilly, yeah. Some of you may even say cold, but not terribly so, not record breaking. No. In the Pacific Northwest, lots of issues there, and some of that snow begins to spill over the Rockies into the northern Great Plains, Dakotas, maybe even Nebraska. Here's Saturday. Now, I know this is what I was just telling you. Look at all this snow up here. Great Plains, Upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and then this. Okay, let me address this. This is going to be what I just told you about Saturday morning. There is going to be, as the next piece of moisture moves in, there's going to be this brief time that you may see snowflakes mixing with rain. But the ground temperature and surface temperatures will be too warm for anything to cause a great impact, or any impact for that matter. And it will all change to rain as much warmer temperatures move in Saturday afternoon. See? Any of that wintry stuff goes away pretty quickly, and it all just becomes rain Saturday afternoon and evening into Sunday and into the first day of December, which is next Monday. Here comes the next system in line. So again, this is not going to be anything to worry about. It's not going to be one of those things where, oh my gosh, is it going to snow as bad as what they were saying? Is it going to be as cold as what they were saying? The answer to both of those questions is no. No. Okay. Now, let's check some numbers. Model blender. Look at that. This is pushing it up to 68 tomorrow. I'm just not sure it's going to get that warm. Maybe mid 60s, but upper 60s, close to 70. I don't see it. There will be a southwest breeze at times, so it's maybe remotely possible. But then after those two fronts fall, Wednesday into Thursday, we go from 50 to 31. That's going to be Wednesday night. Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, there we are, 45 to 22. Woo! 22 degrees, Thanksgiving night into Friday morning. Yes, it's going to be cold, but that's not record-breaking cold. It's cold. But then we go back to 42, and then 42 on Friday to 26 Friday night. And then here we go, a little bit of a warming trend, upper 40s to around 50 for the first week of December. So again, nothing out of the ordinary, nothing that's really, I mean, it's a cold shot, but it's not anything that's going to be so life altering like was, pretty much said before by the hypesters that Thanksgiving, oh my God, look out. It's just going to be so. Nope. Okay. That's it. Short and sweet. Well, sort of short. I went 35 minutes. So, but anyway, I had some catching up to do. Thank you guys again for allowing me a couple of days off from this and from TV, but I'm back on the TV tomorrow morning. News 40 Sunrise at 6 a.m., 9 a.m., and noon. And then I'll be back here for another update like this at 270 Weather tomorrow night. In the meantime, thank you for watching. God bless, and I'll see you then.